वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह प्यारे जी आया नू सारिਆਂ ਨੂੰ welcome everybody. This is Jup Banee class number 14 and we are on Pauree number 8 today. Pauree number 8 is the one that starts with the word SUNEY. Okay, if you will recall, we studied Paurees 1 to 7, and in our analysis and our understanding of Paurees 1 to 7, we came up with the conclusion that the key subject matter of Paurees 1 to 7 is Hukm. So that's what we have completed. Now what's going to happen at Pauree number 8 onwards is Guru Nanak Padsha is going to start with what I call the practical spirituality. So basically the spirituality of Sikhi, the practice of it. By that I mean what to do and what not to do, what to emphasize on. These things are all going to be elaborated from Pauree number 8. The journey of Sikh spirituality begins with Pauree number 8. Yeah. Now the subject matter of Pauree 8, which is also the subject matter of 9, 10 and 11. Char Pauriyan, Pauree 8, 9, 10, 11. These four Paurees share one subject matter which is SUNEY. पहला आप pronunciation दा पक्का करिए. सस्से नु अंकर सो, नाने नु सियारी ने, एड़ी नु दलामा becomes a. So SUNEY. A lot of our people pronounce it as SUNEY. It is not SUNEY because आ जेड़ी नाने नु सियारी है, ये बिहारी निगी. So it is SUNEY. Not SUNEY, not SUNEY, and not SUNEY. That's the worst kind of pronunciation anybody can give you. But believe me, in the Sikh world, the more weird you are, the more authentic you seem to be. Now that's not what we aspire for. We want to get to the real authenticity, and the real authenticity is very simple. So said Onkar Nane no Siari Adin Dalama is SUNEY. It means Sunan de Nal. Sunan de Rahi. Nane nu siari jadi lagi hoyi hai. Okay? So the word is SUNEY. Now hold the meaning, because the meaning as given to you in your book listening is not the meaning of it. We'll derive the meaning using the Gurbani explorer method, which is to explore the meanings of Gurbani concepts through the use of Gurbani. So let's look at the entire Pauree first. SUNEY Siddh Peer Surnath, SUNEY Tart Taval Akas. The pause is there SUNEY. SUNEY. SUNEY Deep Lo Patal. SUNEY Poh Na Sakya Kal. Then we have Nanak Bhagtan Sada Vegas. SUNEY Dukh Paap Ka Nas. These final two verses will repeat in all the four Paurees as the final two verses of each of these four Paurees. So 8वीं Pauree है, this is the 8th Pauree. Now the 9th Pauree reads SUNEY Isar Barma Ind, SUNEY Mukh Salahan Mand, SUNEY Jog Jugt Tan Ped, SUNEY Sasat Simrat Ved, Nanak Bhagtan Sada Vigas, SUNEY Dukh Paap Ka Nas. And the next one, SUNEY Sat Santoh Gyan, SUNEY Atsat Ka Ishnan, SUNEY Pad Pad Pave Man, SUNEY Lage Sahaj Dhyan, Nanak Bhagtan Sada Vigas, SUNEY Dukh Paap Ka Nas. And finally, SUNEY Sara Guna Ke Ga, SUNEY Sheikh Peer Paatshah, SUNEY Ande Pave Rah. Hahe no onkar lage hoya. Okay. Now those are grammatical connotations. It is not SUNEY Ande Pave Raho. SUNEY Ande Pave Rah. SUNEY Haath Hove Asgah. Nanak Bhagtan Sada Vigas, SUNEY Dukh Paap Ka Nas. So if you count these four Paurees, what we have is there are four Paurees. Pauree 8, Pauree 9, Pauree 10 and 11. ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਮ ਬੋਲ ਚਾਲ ਦੀ ਬੋਲੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ SUNEY ਦੀਆਂ ਪੌੜੀਆਂ, the Paurees of SUNEY. If you count the verses, there are 20 verses with the word SUNEY in it. So SUNEY comes exactly 20 times. So therefore, I think Guru Nanak Padsha wanted to make one thing clear, maybe two things clear. The first thing he wants to make clear is SUNEY, it's a very critical and important aspect of the journey, the path of Sikh spirituality. Otherwise, in a Bani like Japji, he would not be talking 20 times about one concept. Because Japji is a very concise, very precise, a very summary Bani. So there are not too many words here that are available, you know. So Guru Nanak is devoting 20 words here to SUNEY. So in these 4 bodies, 8 to 11, we have SUNEY as the subject matter, because SUNEY comes 20 times in 20 verses. Beyond that Pyareo, we also have SUNEY 2 more times in the Jup Banee itself. We have done this already, body number 5. Gaviya, Suniya, Man, Rakhiya, Pao. Gaviya, Bihari, Aithe Bihari hai. So Aithe the pronunciation is Suniya. Gaviya, Suniya, Man, Rakhiya, Pao. We have already covered the meaning of this, but I will explain it one more time when we develop the concept of SUNEY. The 21st body of Japji also has this verse about SUNEY, Sunaya, Manaya, Man, Kita, Pao. So this is the importance of the criticalness of the centrality of the concept of SUNEY in Sikh spirituality. ਇੱਥੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ SUNEY ਸਾਡੀ spirituality ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਕੱਢ ਦਈਏ. If we remove the process or the concept of SUNEY from our spirituality, then the spirituality of ours would crumble. You cannot walk the path of spirituality without the process and concept of SUNEY. So today in our session Pyareo, we're going to spend some time to develop this concept of SUNEY. Now, we can say it this way, that basically, because it is body 8 of Japji, and because body 1 to 7 covered the process of Hukm, the understanding of Hukm, so 8 is where the Sikh spirituality's journey begins, the first step. And because the first body of the first step, which is body number 8, has its subject matter as SUNEY, then we can make this conclusion that SUNEY indeed is the starting point of Guru Nanak's spirituality. It is also the starting point of the Sikh spirituality. It is our starting point. Sikhi begins with the concept of SUNEY. The first step of Sikhi begins with the process of SUNEY. The process of SUNEY is the building block of Sikhi. The process of SUNEY is the first brick that we lay down on the house of Sikhi, house of Sikh spirituality that we all aim to build within our minds. This is the importance of SUNEY. Pyareo, the English language has these 2 beautiful words, hearing and we have listening. I'm sure if you start to put your mind to it, you're beginning to think of the variety of differences that exist between hearing and listening. Okay? Hearing is a different thing altogether, and listening is different. Anybody wants to venture to give me one difference at least? The young people behind there, yeah? You are damn good at all this. So can somebody give me one difference? What is the difference between hearing and listening? One difference.
Hearing is when you only hear the noise.
Okay. Hearing is related to the noise. You hear the noise. Listening?
Listening is more like you're concentrating when you hear the noise.
Okay, listening is something that happens after the noise. Yeah, something else is going to come about. Okay, I got your point. Hearing is listening to the sound. Listening is making sense of the sound. Is that one way of putting it? We still haven't got to SUNEY yet. Yeah, this is all still the English language. We'll come back to Gurbani language later down the line. Good start. Thank you very much. It shows you are intelligent and that you are thinking. Very good. Keep it up. People who can think will make good Sikhs. All right. So there are stark differences between the process of hearing and listening. Let me give you the next slide. Okay. When somebody says, "Can you hear me?" Then somebody says, "Are you listening?" What is the difference between these 2 questions? Can you hear me? Are you listening? Give me one difference between these 2 questions. Yeah.
Can you hear me when you speak to noise?
Okay, can you hear my voice? In other words, like when I come here and ask you, can you hear me at the back there? All I'm concerned is, has my voice reached your eardrum and struck it and created the vibration? All right. What's the meaning of, are you listening?
Are you understanding?
Okay. In other words, it is beyond just the, the voice, the modulation, the air molecules striking your eardrum. Yeah, there's something else happening at the listening part. What if I ask you this question? Can you hear somebody without listening? And can you listen without hearing? Can you hear without listening? You can hear without listening. Can you listen without hearing? In other words, you got to hear and then you got to listen. Yeah? All right, so the majority of the class feels that the answer is you cannot listen unless you hear. Hold your horses again. I will ask you the same question again when we come to slide number 20 something. Yeah? And then we'll see whether your answer still remains the same or not. Yeah? But I hope you're getting an idea already that listening and hearing are two different things altogether. Let me give you another slide here. People talk about listening skills. Has anybody ever talked about hearing skills? Have you even heard the term hearing skills? Nope. Right? Active listening. What's the difference between passive listening and active listening? Of course, there's a world of difference. All you people can already make that out. But nobody talks about active hearing or effective hearing. I mean, hearing is hearing. Nobody talks about how to be a better hearer. Imagine, there's an advertisement in the newspapers, how to be an effective hearer, 500 ringgit, $500. I mean, you wouldn't pay 50 cents for that kind of a seminar, right? But how to be an effective listener, how to be a better listener, well, that's a course altogether. That one people would pay money to go and listen to it. Yeah. Now, back to the question of, can you hear without listening? Can you listen without hearing? I put together for you two questions here. Two people are in a conversation. I'm sorry I couldn't find a more accurate picture to represent a Sikh. But let's assume that they are in a very a spirited conversation. They're talking to each other. Now then, this guy is talking and this guy is asking him, excuse me, what were you saying? So what was he doing and what was he not doing? When he says, what were you saying, was he hearing? Of course. The words were all being blustered into his eardrum. His eardrum was vibrating like crazy and sending signals. So he was hearing. Now why is he asking, what were you saying? Because he was hearing, but he wasn't listening. So you're getting the idea that hearing is the function of some other part of the human body, and listening is the function of another part of the human body, and they are both actually not very interrelated. One can function while the other is not functioning at all. The eardrum continues to vibrate while the brain continues to sleep. That is why he's asking, what were you saying? What about this? Excuse me, what was I saying? Right? Now I am the one who's articulating, loud and clear with my vocal cords all the words. Now if these words can't reach your ears, never mind, but you can't argue they're not reaching my own ears. The words I'm saying are reaching my own ears and vibrating my eardrum, but I still have to ask you, yaar, ki keh raha si? What was I saying? You're getting the point that listening and hearing are two different things altogether. In the next slide, what we see is that there is a certain order to hearing and listening. And you agree with me that hearing, because it's purely physical, it is of a very lower order compared to listening, which is a mental process. So you hear, I mean, hearing is not difficult. I mean, the reason why nature did not put blinkers on our ears, think about it. He put blinkers on our eyes. We can close when we don't want to see. But when it comes to hearing, nature made it clear that you will not choose not to hear. You have to hear. That's why it's a lower order thing. Everybody is going to hear it. But listening, that's a choice. There's a blinker on the listening. You can off the listening and just keep hearing and not listen at all. So listening is of a higher order skill because it involves the mental processes. The Panji who answered the question just now, she said understanding, she said agreeing. Now, these are the processes that have to come from hearing. You hear something, listening involves evaluating what you heard, making sense of what you heard. It may involve agreeing with what you heard. It may involve disagreeing. It may involve asking for elaboration, asking for examples, asking. So that's what they call active listening. Yeah. So that is a higher order process. Yeah. Now, if we agree that hearing is the lowest order, listening where mental processes and understanding basically are involved is a higher order, then Pyareo, SUNEY of the SHABD. And the closest English translation is spiritual listening. Spiritual listening then stands as the highest order of a skill that is required on our journey of spirituality. So we have to move even beyond listening. So when your books start to translate, I hope nobody said book is translating SUNEY as hearing. I think most of the books are translating SUNEY as listening, but really there is another order, a higher order beyond listening that Guru Nanak Padsha, is representing in this entire sixth spirituality, and especially so in the 4 Paurees of Japji, Pauree 8, 9, 10 and 11. It is certainly beyond hearing. In fact, later we will come and change this conclusion. Actually, it doesn't involve hearing at all. So hold your horses, yeah, we'll come back to that part. But it is certainly very much beyond listening, beyond even active listening. It's something else of a higher level, and that is what we mean by spiritual listening, SUNEY, because it is SUNEY of the SHABD. And a SHABD has certain very peculiar characteristics that require a certain kind of listening. That is why SUNEY of the SHABD is not the SUNEY of a conversation in the general or in the normal sense of things. Okay. So these are the 3 orders that we have: hearing, physical, in English we call it hearing, and then listening in English, and then spiritual listening or SUNEY in Punjabi. Now the issue is that in Punjabi, when we say hearing, tenu sunda nahi, we still use the word sun. We do not have a separate word for hearing. When we said tenu sunya nahi, we still use the same word SUNEY. So in that sense, Punjabi or Hindi or the entire Indian languages, including Sanskrit, are defective when it comes to differentiating the orders of listening. They do not have words. And what is even more striking is that there is no specific word other than SUNEY for spiritual listening itself. So do you see a big problem here, Gurmukh Pyareo? Do you see a problem when other languages have 3 words for 3 different processes, and then we have Punjabi and Gurmukhi that has 1 word for 3 different processes? Do you see a problem there? It's a major problem. It's a major problem, just like 3 people having the same name. Imagine everybody in this class had the same name. The kind of problem we would have to differentiate who is which Baldev Singh. If you can say Baldev Singh A, Baldev Singh B, you are differentiated, but everybody is just Baldev Singh. How are we going to differentiate? How are we going to figure out? Yeah. So that is where the khoj of Gurbani in the form of contemplation, or in a lower order of usage of words in the form of context, comes in. The words are going to be the same. I'm going to call on the same word of Baldev Singh sitting in this class. Let's say there are 35 Baldev Singhs sitting here. But I can call on specific Baldev Singhs by using certain contexts. I can put the context in my question. Now I know one of the Baldev Singhs was born in Ipoh. So my question is, Baldev Singh, you being from Ipoh, now it rules out the other 29 Baldev Singhs. We know which Baldev Singh we are talking about. Context. Baldev Singh, Ipoh. Yeah. Now another Baldev Singh is an engineer. Then I can use the context. Baldev ji, what would you have to say about engineering given the fact that you are an engineer? You see how context specified a certain Baldev Singh? So similarly, it will be a context that was specified whether this is the SUNEY we are talking about, or this is the SUNA, or this is the SUNEY. The word in root is SUNA. Hearing is SUNA. Listening is SUNA. Spiritual listening is also SUNA. So this is the problem that we have when we have one word for three meanings. So I'm going to give you three sentences in Punjabi, and then we're going to figure out that although the word son is used in all the three sentences, yet the meanings of the three sentences are entirely different, and we will discover the meanings by the help of translations in English. So you're going to help me translate, because the meaning in context can only come out in the translation process. So imagine if somebody comes and says, oh boli gaya te main suni gaya. The word is sun. Oh boli gaya te main suni gaya. There is a certain value behind this statement. There is a certain tone behind the statement. Okay, there's a certain emotion behind it. Oh boli gaya te main suni gaya. So what do you think is the translation of this? The English translation. Bolo? Oh, wonderful. This is the meaning of it. I heard him out. This is the translation. Oh, boli gaya, main suni gaya. I heard him out. Because somebody comes and says to you, okay, hear me out. He is not saying agree with me. He is not saying disagree. He's just telling you, please let me blast your eardrums for 5 minutes. Please hear me out. And that's your expectation. When somebody tells you, please hear me out, you said yes. But you're not expected, you're not entitled to agree, disagree, you're not expected to agree, disagree. You're not expected to do anything else except hear him out. Oh boli gaya te main suni gaya. No, look at this statement, yeah? Eh koi gal sunda hi nahi. When somebody says, eh koi gal sunda hi nahi, eh koi gal sundi hi nahi, are we saying he is not hearing? What are we saying? You see, now the thing is going to change. Without the help of translations, very difficult to make out, because oh he suni, same word. Oh boli gaya, main suni gaya. Different meaning from eh koi gal sunda hi nahi. So translation would be, he doesn't listen. That was your translation we just now. Yeah, that applies here. Eh koi gal sunda hi nahi. Now I'm going to give you a third scenario. A mother comes home after a very tiring walk. She knocks on the door and the daughter opens the door. 15-year-old girl opens the door. Says, Mom, welcome home. She said, yeah, welcome, baad vich kari. I'm tired of walking. Ek pani da glass cheti cheti liya de mainu. Heard that? Ek pani da glass cheti cheti liya de mainu. So she sits down on the sofa. And 5 minute lang gaye, 10 minute lang gaye, and then she makes this statement. Tenu sunya nahi. Tenu sunya nahi. Now remember, she knocked the door and the daughter opened the door. Daughter is standing right in front of her. Are we going to say Tenu sunya nahi means, did you hear me? No, she heard her. her eardrums vibrated, well and good. A 15-year-old's eardrums are very well functioning. Yeah, mine may not function fully, but 15-year-old has to function. Now you cannot also say a girl sondini, because she understood, she listened. Mother asked a glass of water. The mother didn't ask, to bring me a glass of sodium nitrate filled and added with potassium chloride. That maybe she doesn't understand. But this is a glass of water. So how are we going to translate this into English? Oh, boli gaya, main suni gaya, I heard him out. Eh koi gal sunde hi nahi, he doesn't listen. Eh tenu sunaya nahi. Now this one, the English equivalent is act based. It's an action that the mother is waiting for. So the meaning of tenu sunaya nahi is not whether you heard me or whether you listened. The meaning of tenu sunaya nahi is where is the glass of water. देखो लफ्ज सुनिया ही है, the word is still सुनिया ही है. Okay, so you translate ए तेनु सुनिया नहीं, it translates as where's the glass of water I asked. Now because in Punjabi we do not have words for listening and hearing and higher level, it is all the same word sona, but it is up to us to make out the context of it and understand what is being said, what is being requested. Atanu Sonyani means you have not complied with my request. Nothing to do with hearing, nothing to do with listening, nothing to do with understanding, nothing to do with anything of that sort. It has all got to do with the act of bringing a glass of water. So this is how we have to look at things to get to the real meanings, especially when we have only one word for a different context. So now the SUNEY of the Shabd Pyareo at the very basic level is located in this quadrant here, in this category here. When Guru Nanak says Sikha tenu sunaya nahi, he is not talking about did you hear me, he is not talking about did you listen to me, he is talking at this level. Where is the action that I asked you to do? SUNEY. In fact, there are three quadrants here. SUNEY would actually be placed in quadrant number 4. It's even beyond just bringing a glass of water. The glass of water has to be brought at a certain temperature, certain number of blocks of ice in it, in a certain glass container, held in a certain way and served with love and compassion. That would be the meaning of Guru Nanak asking Sikha tenu sunaya. And that is the real meaning of Ha Maji Menu Sunaya. That Sunaya only happens when she serves that glass of water. Okay, Pyare, I hope we are clear. Now, let's label it as Sunaya 1, Sunaya 2 and Sunaya 3 for the sake of understanding. So when somebody makes this statement, and in the past couple of Sundays, 2-3 Sundays, we have heard this argument very loud and clear that a khanda part should be done. That's not the problem. The problem is you people or we people don't sit down and what? Sunay. Somebody says because she part sunde nahi. In English it would mean probably because most of us don't listen. So where is that listening? Or somebody used the word for Bani. When people read Bani, then we should listen. So the problem is khanda part going on and there's nobody listening. There's nobody listening. What level is that? That's a question we need to think about. Can it ever be at level 3 of spiritual listening? Take it one notch lower. Can it ever be at level 2 of listening with the mind and understanding it, making sense out of it? Or as our Panji said just now, it is simply about hearing the sound, hearing the noise. So if you heard the noise and did not make sense out of it, then you are equal to not having heard the noise. So what's the big difference? Heard a noise and didn't make sense out of it. It's the same as not hearing anything. And the same applies to Kirtan. Kirtan Suno. So what are we talking about? Are we talking about hearing at the physical level? Are we talking about listening? Are we talking about spiritual listening? Second question, what level of listening are we doing? Are we hearing? Are we listening at the mental level? Or are we listening at the spiritual level?
You're talking about counterpart, most of the time it is at level 1.
Most of the time is level 1. Guru Nanak is talking about level 3. So if it's level 1 and we are not getting to level 3, the issue is not in the hearing. So the counterpart was going on and 300 people sat there and heard it. It would be the same as the 300 people not being there at all. Because what you did was simply heard. There was no listening involved. And if 300 people are not there, or there and only hearing, then it would make no difference if the counterpart was not done at all. You see where we are heading now? The question is not about the fact that we are not hearing the counterpart. The question is not even about the fact that we are not listening to the counterpart, because no listening to the counterpart can ever take place when it is being read at 30 pages an hour. It cannot happen. So we are barking up the wrong tree. It is not the issue of what we do with the counterpart, it is the issue of what we can do or cannot do. There is no way that any kind of spiritual listening can happen when Bani is being read at 30 pages an hour. So you see, we got the whole thing wrong. We got it upside down because we apply the word SUNEY for everything. So we said counterpart, Bani padho te Bani suno. We are applying at the hearing level. But hearing level is not what Guru Nanak is talking about. Hearing is not what Gurbani is for. Hearing is certainly not what Gurbani is being read out for. Gurbani is being read out for the purposes of spiritual listening. All the discourse and all the vichar and all the discussion that we are having about listening to a counterpart, SHABD, Kirtan or Netre is happening at SUNEY level 1. It's happening at the hearing physical level. We are not taking it to the second level, the understanding level or the mental appreciation level, and we are certainly not taking it to the spiritual listening level. So that's the point, yeah? We have to have our issues correct. We have to have our discourse correct. Otherwise, we end up barking at the wrong tree all the time. So if no listening can take place through the process of reading 30 pages an hour, then the issue is not the listening. The fault is not with the listener or the hearer. The fault is with the process itself. The process does not bring about any kind of listening or any kind of spiritual SUNEY. So now we're going to get into the specific meanings of what is meant by SUNEY of the SHABD or spiritual listening. When we go up the order of spiritual listening from hearing to listening to spiritual listening, what we are really saying is that SUNEY of the SHABD is actually getting to the Sihari of the SHABD. That is the definition of SHABD nu Sunna. SHABD nu Sunna can happen at the hearing level too, which is where it's happening 99% of the time. Somebody is merely vocalizing it and it is entering into our eardrum and getting into our system. That's SHABD nu Sunna at the physical level. And then there's listening at the mental level. There's some kind of understanding happening, or we think some kind of understanding is happening. But the SUNEY of the SHABD actually happens when we get to the Sihari of the SHABD. Let me explain that. what do we mean by the Sihari of the Shabd? This is the Sihari, the one in yellow. And who Sihari kehde hai? This is Shabd without the Sihari. It can be with an onkad or without an onkad. But in English, they all spell the same way, Shabd. Now there is a world of difference between this Shabd and this Shabd. This is the Sihari. Now, one way of putting it would be that this is the container and this is the content. This is the vocalized part. This Sihari is the message within the vocals, the direction, the instruction. The direction in the Shabd, the instruction in the Shabd, the way forward in the Shabd is denoted, represented by the Sihari. So when Guru uses the Sihari and tells you Sikha, get to the Shabd with the Sihari, he is telling us Sikha, get to the messages that I am delivering to you. Get to the instructions. So it is even beyond meanings, yeah? It's after meanings. First we get the meanings, we understand it, then we get to the instruction of it. Let me give you a verse from Gurbanee. Nanak says, Tin ka sad balhari. Guru Nanak Pasha says, I am forever a sacrifice. In other words, I have the deepest spiritual respect for this kind of beings or this kind of mindsets. What kind of mindsets? Jan ek shabd levelai. Ek here refers to the one creator. Shabd with a Sihari. Levelai contemplates, connects, becomes one with or internalizes. What are we supposed to connect with? What are we supposed to internalize? You see, not the vocal. That is why Guru Nanak puts the Sihari there very clearly. We are supposed to connect, internalize with the Sihari of the Shabd, which means the content, the direction, the instructions within the Shabd. Now we all clear on this? Any questions? That is the reason why Guru Nanak and all the Gurus in their Bani, all right, are extremely specific in the kind of messages they deliver, because they want us to connect with the messages. Now I come back to the question, do you think that when somebody is reading at 30 pages an hour, you can locate the Siharis anywhere and connect with them? Is it even possible? Is it even possible?
Unless you know the Gurbanee yourself.
Yep. हर का नाम त्याय कै हो हरिया पाई कर्म लखनते पाइया रुत साई वन त्रिंत्र पुण मोहलिया अमृत फल पाई मिल साधु सुख उपजा रत्ती सब छाई नानक सिमरे एक नाम पे बहुना ताई पंजे बदे महाबली का सच्चा टोआ अपने चरण जपाइन दई खड़ोआ रोग सोग सा बैठ गए नवा दरोवा दिन रहन नाम त्यायदा फिर पाई ना हुआ कितों उपजा कह रहे के माई समावे जी जंत सब खसम के कौन कीमत पावे कहन त्याय सुन निर से पग सहावे अगम गोचर साहिबो दूसर लवे न लावे सच पूरे गुरु उपदेसिया नानक सुनावे. Tell me where were the Siharis? Yep. That Pyareo was 15 pages an hour. I'm going to make it 30 now. You prepared for that? I think no need to do that. No need. We already got the point, yeah? At 15. What speed do we have to read now? This one. Nanak, how long it taken us staring at this verse? To get the idea that there's a Sihari put there for a very specific purpose. Har ka naam dhyaye ke. This is like 1 page an hour. This is the speed required to get to the SUNEY. Har ka naam. What is naam? Virtues. The virtues of the Creator. What we are to do with the virtues? Dhyaye hai, internalize the virtues. Har ka naam dhyaye hai, ho harya pai. What is harya? Harya, grow, green, yeah? If you water a plant, it grows. But what are we talking about here? You see, Vichar, by the time you start thinking about all this, the Granthi on the Khandapad has gone to page 75 already. And we are still on what is harya. A level da SUNEY. Ho harya pai. ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਪਊ ਵੀ ਹਰਿਆ, to understand harya we need to understand ਸੁੱਕਾ. ਸੁੱਕਾ ਮਨ ਤੇ ਹਰਿਆ ਮਨ ਦਾ ਫਰਕ ਕੀ ਹੈ? ਸੋ ਇਸੀ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਲੈਵਲ ਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਇਹ ਸਿਹਾਰੀ ਦੀ ਸਮਝ ਆਉਣੀ ਆ? the messages. So there is a direction that ਸਿੱਖਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਹਰਿਆ ਭਰਿਆ ਕਰ. ਬੂਟੇ ਨੂੰ ਹਰਿਆ ਭਰਿਆ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਾਣੀ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਹਰਿਆ ਭਰਿਆ ਕਰਨਾ ਸਿਹਾਰੀ ਪਾ ਕੇ, ਬਾਣੀ ਵਾਲੀ, ਬਾਣੀ ਦੀ ਸਿਹਾਰੀ. ਇੱਥੇ ਗੱਲ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ. So the meaning of this, Nanak, I am forever sacrificed to one who realizes what? Live a lie. The messages of the SHABD. Ek pertaining. Ek SHABD, oh SHABD, that SHABD, that instructions, that direction. A SHABD by itself cannot connect us to the Creator. The directions within the SHABD, the instruction within the SHABD, the message within the SHABD, the meaning within the SHABD, that connects us to the one Creator. ਉੱਥੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਣ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਸੁਣੈ. That is why we agreed earlier on in the earlier slide that Sunay is the starting point of the process of Sikh spirituality. So ਜੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਉਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਅਰਥ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਜੇ ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਲਿਵ ਲਾਈ, ਸ਼ਬਦ ਨੂੰ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਲਓ, ਮੈਮੋਰਾਈਜ਼ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਤੇ ਬਸ ਤੁਰੇ ਫਿਰੋ, ਜਾਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਾਗਜ਼ ਤੇ ਲਿਖ ਕੇ write it on a piece of paper, put it in your pocket, put it in your wallet, put it around your neck, that is not the Sihari. That is the Shabad without the Sihari, most likely. I am not advocating that, Pyareo. Shabad is meant to get to the messages, to the direction, to the instruction. ਇਹ ਦੋ ਲਫ਼ਜ਼ ਨਾ, direction, instruction, ਇਹ ਪੱਕੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਪੱਲੇ ਬੰਨ ਲਈਏ. ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਨੇ ਬਾਣੀ ਲਿਖੀ ਹੈ because there are instructions, there are directions there that need to be followed to get somewhere. So in the simplest of terms, this is what I said just now, Pyareo. Shabad without the Sihari is the container, and Shabad with the Sihari is the content. ਇੱਕ ਮੈਂ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਹਿ ਦਿਆਂ, whenever the Gurus talk about the container, Shabad without the Sihari, they will always make it clear that the purpose is to get into the container. They will use words to that effect to tell us to get into the container. When they don't tell us to get into the container, they use the Sihari. That by itself is clear that we have to get to the messages within the container. So, in a very simplistic manner then, Pyareo, this is where the hearing takes place. The container level, the Shabad. When somebody is either reciting the Shabad or we are reciting it ourselves, somebody is singing it, whether Kirtan, Sahaj part, Akhand part, whatever, it only happens at this level, at the hearing level. And we need to get to this level. The spiritual listening is getting to the Sihari. So there is a process, and the entire process from the listening to the getting to the Sihari, the spiritual listening, that is what we call the spirituality of Sikhi. That is the spirituality of Guru Nanak. From the process of listening Note, I knocked out hearing. Yeah? I knocked out hearing. The spirituality of Sikhi begins with listening. And the process proceeds from listening to getting to the Sihari, the SUNEY of the SHABD. This is the level where the mother is asking, Tenu sunaya nahi? It means pani da glass nahi aaya. That started from here. Because when the daughter opened the door and the mother said, get me a glass of water because I'm thirsty, that's where the listening took place. But that's not where the SUNEY of the SHABD happens. Yeah? That's another level after that. So, ਇੱਥੋਂ ਹੁਣ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਣਾ. So, ਇੱਕ ਸਵਾਲ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੇ people ask, and this is the question. Can a deaf person do SUNEY? You take this to a spiritual level, they ask you, can a deaf person be a Sikh? Can a deaf person be spiritual? What's the answer? Yes. Okay, we look at the flow charts, yeah? Most of you are agreeing that, yes, a deaf person can. How? Yeah? If we follow the flow chart, listening and then to spiritual listening, it has to start with hearing. You have to hear and then listen. Is that true? Is there any other pathway to get to listening? Beautiful. Yeah? So you can read. In other words, this entire process can be knocked out. Pyareo, let me say something here. It's going to be earth-shattering. Please hold on to your chairs. Huh? If hearing can be knocked out of the spiritual process of Sikhi towards SUNEY of the SHABD, why have we spent our entire spiritual life just hearing? We could have knocked out everything we did and still be where we are. Anybody fall off the chair? Yeah. Isn't that startling? That's why Bhagat Kabir says, Dad ke pole virole neer. We've all been churning water. This hearing is churning water. We churned water. Some of you churned for 15 years. God bless you. Yeah, you young people behind there. Only 15 years. People like me have churned it for 60 years. Yeah. Now I can't take solace in the fact that people have churned longer than me, because I know that churning for 70 years and 60 years and 10 years is all the same. Churning water is churning water. Aso a charge dekhyo Kabir, a charge startling. Kabir is telling us, hold on to your chest. I'm going to give you a startling fact of spirituality of the world. Aso, such startling, aso a charge dekhyo, I have experienced myself, seen with my own eyes. Aso a charge dekhyo Kabir, dad ke pole virole neer. Thinking water is milk, people have been churning water for ages. And then nothing coming out of it. Anybody expects to churn water and take out butter from it. So 35 years of churning water, may as well not churn it at all. है ना? कोई फर्क नहीं पैदा. So imagine if hearing, the physical side could be ruled out of it altogether. There was absolutely no need to waste our energies and our time, which is what we did. Yeah? Our entire spiritual discourse is ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ. ਪਾਠ ਹੋਈ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ. ਕੀਰਤਨ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ. ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ. We are talking about hearing. Somebody should raise their hand and say, ਪਿਆਰਿਓ, ਸੁਣਨ ਤੇ ਨਾ ਸੁਣਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਈ ਫਰਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੈਣਾ. ਗੱਲ ਕਰੋ ਲਿਸਨਿੰਗ ਦੀ. ਗੱਲ ਕਰੋ ਸਮਝ ਤੇ ਸੂਝ ਤੇ ਬੂਝ ਦੀ. ਵੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸੂਝ ਤੋਂ ਬਗੈਰ ਸੁਣਾਈ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ. ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੋ. ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਸੂਝ ਤੇ ਸਮਝ ਤੋਂ ਬਗੈਰ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ. ਪਾਣੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਕੁਰਲੀਆਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਯੂ ਗਗਲਿੰਗ ਇਨ ਵਾਟਰ. ਇਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲੀਆਂ. This is the level which you're talking about. That in our gurdwaras, there is absolutely no understanding being felt, being delivered, being served, or being conducted, or being exchanged. That's the level we are.
Doctor,
Hanji.
Khandapad is done within 48 hours,
Hanji.
something like 30 pages per an hour. I suppose one can only hear.
Khandapad being read, 30 pages an hour, it is all at the hearing level. You are going to end up with zero understanding. That's not the startling point. The startling part is this: the person reading it at 30 pages an hour is also at zero understanding level. The reader is at zero understanding level. Pyareo, God bless you if you think by hearing you can become at some other level. That's where we are. Khandapatis come and read for the sake of reading, because they get paid to what, Pyareo? They get paid to read. Yeah, they don't get paid to understand. They do not also get paid to make you understand. They get paid to read. So why should they be involved in the process of understanding? Kirtaniyas and Ragis and our Pracharaks are all at the level of reciting to make you hear out. That's all. Nothing more than that. So big question then is, who then? Who is going to do that task? Hold that question. Let's come back to the earlier part. Hanji, Dr. Ji.
Traditionally, when you say move to a new house or new house, you always have a Khandapad.
The question is, when we have a new house, we buy a new property, we take Guru Maharaj, then we do Khandapad, Sahajpad, Kirtan and so on. It doesn't change the fact that at that point, what's happening is just hearing. That's what it is. Because we have been drummed this thing into us, that Gurbani is actually has got a certain power in the words, in the vocals of it. So you're going to bless the house. You're going to purify the house. You're going to purify the people who stay in there. Plants are going to grow better. The people in there are going to be healthier, going to earn more money, live longer, and so on and so forth. We have invested our spiritual discourse in a process called hearing that can be knocked out. We have considered Bani to be a mantra. That's why I said earlier on that what we need to appreciate in Bani is the words direction and instruction and the way, the Sihari. This is what we need to get at. So the next time somebody else buys a new house, bring in the Guru Granth Sahib, bring in the Ragis, bring in the Pracharak, and the order of the program should be, thank you very much for coming, Sadh Sangat Ji. Today we are going to discuss the Shabad on page 727. And we're going to spend 1 hour looking at each of these words and each of these verses, and then we're going to get to the direction, we're going to get to the instruction, we're going to get to the meaning of it. This is what real Sikhi is. The SUNEY, and this is the beginning of it. SUNEY is the beginning of it. But what we have done is we have invested in the hearing of it. Gyani ji 5 shabd tusi padh diyo. Ae Sukhmani Sahib da path hi fatafat naal padh diyo Gyani ji. Te 30 safe bani de padh diyo. Jinni jade bani padhange, onna jade fayda hoga. When Bani says padh gaddi laddi hai, padh padhiye saath, padhiye jete bars, whole life keep on reading. पढ़िए जेते सास जिन्ने साह पढ़ी जाओ पढ़ी जाओ पढ़ी जाओ इत्थे ही खड़े हो प्यारे हियरिंग दे लेवल ते गां ते कदे गई नहीं नानक लेख्या एक गल तुहाडे पल्ले सारा कुछ करन तो बाद दी फ्रूट ऑफ योर लेबर इज वन थिंग की है हो हौमै चखना झाक your ego will be able to say I have read X amount of Bani. You're still at the process that can be knocked out. We have to move into the higher levels of it. So back to the question, yeah. Some of the best spiritual people have actually been blind people. I'm not just talking about Sikh spiritual, I'm talking about spiritual people in the world. I can't think of a better spiritual person than Helen Keller. The beauty is that she wasn't born blind. It's people who lose something that really appreciate it. So she lost her sight, and what she gained in the losing of her sight was spirituality. Imagine, you have to lose your sight to become spiritual. We don't have to do that, God bless all of us, but we can put our sight in the right perspective, in the right box, in the right paradigm, and use it correctly and rightly. Otherwise our thing is, Guru Granth Sahib no kare le aao. This is the physical part, the seeing part. Okay, everybody pick up the mala and look at it. All the members of the family come look at it. That's not enough. Put it on your head and take it around the whole house, everywhere. That's the seeing part, and that's what we are talking about now. You don't need that either. The seeing part is not spirituality. The hearing part is also not part of spirituality, can be knocked out. I mean, we are blessed that we can hear. I'm not saying we go, become deaf. No, I'm saying that we have to put it into context. We have to put it into perspective. We're going to put hearing into the box where it belongs, which is the lowest box, which is the lowest category, and that can be taken out. But we have put the lowest category to the highest category and said this is the be and the do all. And this is where it is all about. Suni jao, to sab kuch ho jayega. That's not what Gurbani is saying. So Helen Keller, yeah, every cell in her. So you don't need to be able to. She got into listening, she got into SUNEY. So there must be something else that's involved. All right, so we come back to the question. Well, there are many pathways. Hearing is one, reading is one. What about secondary hearing? One of the most spiritually accomplished ragis the Sikh Panth is produced by Surjan Singh. Another one, the Sikh Panth, is produced by Gopal Singh. These two ragis were born blind. And the amount of spirituality, the amount of ras that you can get. And the ras I'm talking about is not in the voice, not in the music, not in the composition of it. I'm talking about the ras that comes out from the siharis that they emanate to us. It's the way they read the SHABD, they extrapolate the sihari into your mind. You have no other choice but to stop and contemplate. Asal Kirtan. Kirtan, the responsibility is on the listener to get to the sihari. It is also the responsibility of the singer, the Kirtaniya, the ragi, to make sure that the listeners are able to get to the sihari. If I am all concerned about my tunes, my music, my tempo, then my concern is not the sihari, something else. So there are many pathways. The most important thing to understand is that we have to create the pathway ourselves. If we choose hearing, then we have to do the hearing ourselves and get to the listening ourselves, and then get to the SUNEY of the SHABD ourselves. If we take reading, then we have to do it ourselves. Unless we are for some reason unable to do it, or we are unable to hear or unable to read, then we can resort to secondary methods of hearing or reading. Now let me ask you the same question again. Can you hear someone without listening? Can you listen without hearing? Now your answer is changed. You apply the definition of SUNEY, all right, hearing can be knocked out. Listening can be done without hearing. You don't need hearing to actually begin the process of listening. Bani can be read. See? So what is it? What exactly is spiritual listening? Hearing, function of the ears, physical. Listening, function of the mind, mental processes. Now this is a beautiful verse, Lokma, La Duja. It's on page 139 of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Akhi bajjon vekhana. The spiritual processes of Sikhi, the spiritual journey of Sikhi, the spiritual direction of Sikhi. Bajo means without. Akhi bajjon vekhana. The spiritual seeing in Sikhi is the seeing without the human eyes. What kind of seeing is this? It's a spiritual seeing. It's Akhi bajjo vekhana ven kanna sunna. Gurbani da sunna, je kanna tak hi pahunchya oh kanna da sunna. पर कन्ना तो गां दी गल है, कन्ना तो परे दी गल है, बियॉन्ड है। बिन कन्ना सुनना, पैरां बाझों चलना, बिन हत्थां करना, जीभे बाझों बोलना. There's a kind of a बोलना that we need to सुनना. गुरु भी बोलदा सिहारी दे राहीं. जिहड़ी गुरु दी सिहारी है ना, शब्द दी सिहारी है, ਉਹ ਹੈ जीभे बाझों बोलना. जीभे बाझों बोलना. हर हर पी तू तू करे. Guru Nanak's verse, he hears the har hat, which is the tinda जिन्हें पानी खूह विचों कढ़ दियां. They make a sound, yeah, ting 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 ting. And Guru Nanak says, kanna bajo surna. The kan hear that as ting ting or toon toon. But Guru Nanak's ears are listening as har hat bhi tu tu करे, बोले भली बाण. ये जड़ी बोली बाण means words, the language that is coming out from there, it's a godly language, a godly spiritual language. So spiritual language is to be heard in the spiritual listening. ये जो बोलत है मिर्ग मीन पंखेरू, गुरु रामदास पातशाह. Mirg, deer, mean, fishes. बोलत है मिर्ग मीन पंखेरू, पंखेरू, animals, birds that fly around. सो बिन हर जापत है नहीं होर. ये भी एक सुनना. This is a kind of listening that Guru Ramdas Pacha is telling the Sikh. This is the kind of listening that I hear nothing but I hear praises of the Creator. Japat hai nahi hor means the japana, the realization of the Creator is coming to me from these sounds. Wow. Jibbe bajo bolna bin jeevat marna. Nanak hukm pachan ke to khasme milna. Guru Angad Pasha says the spiritual journey of realization of Sikhi, the union with the Creator, the realization with the Creator, is this kind of a spiritual hukam. This is not the physical hukam, the earth going down the sun, or physical laws. These are spiritual hukams. The spiritual hukam Sikha, you have to get to a level of surna, which is beyond hearing, which is beyond just mere listening. So, we can summarize a couple of things about the SUNEY of SHABD. We can illustrate it, spiritual listening. First of all, it's not a function of hearing, it's not a function of seeing. It's a function of the mind. It involves mental processes, it involves understanding, agreeing. Because after the four bodies of SUNEY Pyareo, what's the next body? Manne. Manne is over here, yeah. You have to now begin to agree, and you have to begin to believe in the siharis, in the messages, in the instructions, in the directions. And then you have what is, when the four bodies of Manne are complete, what's the next body? Panch Parvan. The acceptable spirituality is one that has gone through the processes of SUNEY and Manne. The processes of SUNEY and Manne cannot be taken to be just at the hearing level. It's beyond that. And therefore, taking the flow of Jup Banee, okay, Hukm first 7 bodies, then 4 bodies of SUNEY, 4 bodies of Manne, and then into Parvan, Panch Pradhan. Pradhan means superior. A spirituality that is superior of all spiritualities. That is the process. So SUNEY is the beginning of the process that ends in doing and becoming. So now I'm going to take you back to those 2 verses in body 5 and body 21 in Jup Banee that use the word SUNEY. Then we will begin the discourse of Pauree number 8. So आ देखो, गाविए सुनिए मन रखिए पाओ, सुनिया मनिया मन कीता पाओ. The word man applies across 3 different things here. ਭਾਉ ਵੀ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਖਣਾ, ਸੁਣਿਆ ਵੀ ਮਨ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਗਾਵਿਆ ਵੀ ਮਨ ਨੇ. This is what I mean by the complexity, the compressed nature of Jup Banee. There are 3 sentences here. ਗਾਵਿਏ ਮਨ, ਸੁਣੀਏ ਮਨ, ਰੱਖੀਏ ਭਾਉ ਮਨ. And they are all being put, the word man is placed in the center because it tells us that it applies to both sides. If this was read at 30 pages an hour, Pyareo, you will not get to this thing at all. ਕਾਵਿਆ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਮਨ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਪਾਓ, ਦੁੱਖ ਪਰ ਹਰ ਸੁਖ ਕਰ ਲੈ ਜਾਏ, ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਨਾਦੰ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਵੇਦੰ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਰਿਆ ਸਮਾਈ. ਕਿੱਥੇ ਦੇ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਏ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਮਨ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਕਿਤੇ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣੀ. ਨਾ ਗੱਲ ਬਣੀ ਸੁਣਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਦੀ, ਨਾ ਗੱਲ ਬਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਦੀ. ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਹੋਰ ਕਹਿ ਦਿਆਂ, ਨਾ ਗੱਲ ਬਣੀ ਅਖੰਡ ਪਾਠ ਰਖਾਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਦੀ. ਇਹ ਵੀ ਭੁਲੇਖਾ ਕੱਢ ਦਿਓ. 3 parties are involved in this whole process. ਇੱਕ ਰੱਖਣ ਵਾਲਾ, ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਧਰਾਉਣ ਵਾਲਾ. ਹਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਜੀ ਕੱਲ ਨੂੰ 8 ਵਜੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ, ਮੈਂ ਤੇ 10 ਨੂੰ ਆਊਂਗਾ. ਇਹ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਧਰਨ ਵਾਲਾ. ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਫਿਕਰ ਹੀ ਨਾ ਕਰੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ 8 ਵਜੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆਪਾਂ 7:30 ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦਿਆਂਗੇ. ਇਹ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ? ਪਾਠੀ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਆ? 6 ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਆ, 12 ਤਿਆਰ ਨਾ. ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੁਣਨ ਵਾਲਾ. ਹਾਂਜੀ ਫਿਰ ਕੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਆ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਜੀ? ਅਖੰਡ ਪਾਠ ਧਰਿਆ ਜੀ. ਸਾਗ ਅੱਜ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਕਿ ਕੱਲ ਬਣਾਉਣਾ ਜੀ? ਹਾਂਜੀ ਮੱਕੀ ਦੀ ਰੋਟੀ ਫਿਰ ਕੱਲ ਆਵਾਂਗੇ. That's the whole story of the 3-party arrangement called ਅਖੰਡ ਪਾਠ. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪੇ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਇਹ ਕਰਨਾ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ, ਤੇ ਸੁਣਨਾ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੁਣਨਾ, ਕਿ ਪੜ੍ਹਨਾ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਨਾ, ਫੈਸਲਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ. ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਮਨ, ਮੰਨਿਆ ਮਨ, ਕੀਤਾ ਭਾਉ ਮਨ. ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਹ ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਸਿਹਾਰੀ ਲਾਈ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ. ਸੁਣਿਆ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਰਾਹੀਂ, ਅੱਖੀਂ ਵਾਜੋਂ ਦੇਖਣਾ, ਵਿਨ ਕਰਨਾ ਸੁਣਨਾ. If you cannot understand my silence, you will never understand my words. Do you need to vocalize silence? ਚਲੋ ਇੰਨਾ ਹੀ ਸਮਝ ਲਓ ਤੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਉਣਾ ਸਫਲ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ. ਵਿਨ ਕੰਨਾਂ ਸੁਣਨਾ, ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ. ਸੋ ਜੇ ਇੱਕ ਸੁਣ ਮਨ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ ਇੱਕ ਸੁਣ ਕੰਨ ਵੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਨਾ. Okay, so now if the question was listening to Khand Path, is it being read with the mind? Is it being heard with the mind? Because Paatshah da Hukm very clear hai. Nanak Hukm pachan ke. The spiritual Hukm for the Sikh to gauna man de ਨਾਲ, to surna vi man de ਨਾਲ. ਇਹ Hukm hai. Now so long as our Sikh spiritual processes are within the paradigms and confines of this spiritual Hukm. What is the Hukm? ਗਾਉਣਾ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਸੁਣਨਾ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਤੇ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਭਾਵ ਦਾ ਭਾਵ ਹੈ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ. ਮਨ ਰੱਖੀਏ ਭਾਵ, ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਇਨਸਟਰਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ. This is the paradigms. The moment we say we're going to step out of the paradigms, you know, ਮੱਕੀ ਦੀ ਰੋਟੀ ਖਾ ਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸੁਣਨਾ ਆਵਾਂਗੇ. We are stepping out of the paradigm. So moment we step out of the paradigm, we are stepping out of the Hukm processes of Sikhi. Spiritual Hukm processes of Sikhi. ਫਿਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਬਣਨੀ. ਸੋ ਸਾਡਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਹੀ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ ਅਖੰਡ ਪਾਠ ਕਰਨਾ, ਧਰਨਾ ਤੇ ਸੁਣਨਾ, ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ out of the spiritual processes of the Hukm of ਗਾਉਣਾ, ਸੁਣਨਾ, ਪੜ੍ਹਨਾ ਤੇ ਮੰਨਣਾ. So he didn't say ਗਾਵੀਏ ਸੁਣੀਏ ਕੰਨ, ਗਾਵੀਏ ਸੁਣੀਏ ਮਨ. ਹੁਣ ਜੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗਾਉਣਾ ਸੁਣਨਾ, ਫਿਰ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਧਿਆਨ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਸੁਣ ਲਈਏ, ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਜਾਈਏ. ਮਨ ਵੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਹੀ ਹੈ। ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੋ ਜਾ, ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਹੋਰ ਕੰਨ ਹੋਵੇ ਤੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਹੋਰ ਜੀਭ ਹੋਵੇ ਤੇ ਮਨ ਮੇਰਾ ਹੋਵੇ? ਨਹੀਂ, ਮਨ ਵੀ ਮੇਰਾ, ਕੰਨ ਵੀ ਮੇਰਾ, ਜੀਭਾ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੀ, ਦਿਮਾਗ ਵੀ ਮੇਰਾ, ਸੁਰਤ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੀ, ਸਮਝ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੀ। ਇਸੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਸਪਿਰਿਚੁਅਲ ਹੁਕਮ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਵੈਰੀ ਕਲੀਅਰਲੀ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਕਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ? ਆਪਣ ਹੱਥੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਆਪੇ ਹੀ ਕਾਜ ਸਵਾਰੀਐ। ਤੇ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਹੁਕਮ ਹੈ? ਗਾਵੇ ਸੁਣੀਐ ਮਨ। ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਹੁਕਮ ਲੈ ਲਓ, ਕੁਛ ਵੀ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਬਾਣੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਹਰੀ। every direction and every instruction in Bani is for the self, is for the self. You cannot hire people to do it for you, whether it's FOC or with a charge. So why is our listening at the Gaviya Suniya Kan? Because we are not getting to the messages. Who is not getting to the messages? The listener and the reader. Because the reader is not listening, the reader is not reading for the self, and the listener is not listening for the self. The reader is reading because he's paid to read and he's been hired by somebody. The listener has come to sit down to pretend to listen because he has been invited. She has a worry, I do not go for his Khandapad, he will not come for my Khandapad. Or the fear is, if I just walk in here at 30 miles an hour, matha take the deg and leave, what are the people going to say about me? So this is another verse in page 917. Sona mana, a kath katha, jedi katha, kathi ni ja sakdi. The messages, the instruction, the direction that cannot be vocalized. You have to get to that through the process of your research, process of your contemplation. What is Guru trying to tell me here? What is Guru trying to instruct me here? That is the process. Akatha Katha Haranam. So now we go back to the chart. We can say hearing at the physical level is Sona Kanna. Listening at the mental level is Sona Mana. And listening at the spiritual level is what Guru Nanak says as Sona. Sona Kana, Sona Mana, which means we have agreed, we have understood, we have perhaps believed in it, but now we got to do the doing of it, the becoming of it. Othe jaake suniya khadda pyareo. A suniya is not simply hearing, it is not simply, listening at the listening level. Hanji.
So, what's your comment on the tying SHABD before reading?
I advocate self-reading, and I advocate taking efforts to understand it word for word. And I, advocate going to the instructions and the directions and the messages in Bani, and then believing, acting on them, and finally accepting and becoming. Now, if that applies in any situation, whether it's a part for a wedding, part for a new house, or part for anything, then you're on the right part. The occasion does not matter. The purpose and the getting to the spiritual goals and the fact that we are beginning the process of Sunay by beginning to understand, that matters. So long as that is not the equation, then everything is at the hearing physical level. Then we may as well just not do it. Because the belief is that there is some power in the Bani that will bless the couple. Yes, there is a power in it. We have misplaced that power, we have misunderstood that power. The power of Bani is in the Sihari, in the direction, in the messages. The power of Bani is that we have been given the right messages, the correct instructions. What do I mean by right and correct? Because these are instructions that take us towards realization of the Creator within us. These are instructions that make us into better human beings, to serve humanity, to serve the earth, Mother Earth, to serve the environment. That is the power of Bani. Now we have to bring in the power into us ourselves, and we have to let the power of Bani operate within us. That doesn't happen by hiring someone out there to read 1430 pages for us. We have to internalize the power. We have to make it work within us. And the starting point of that power working within us is SUNEY. Where SUNEY doesn't begin, doesn't start, you haven't even started your car engine, pyareo, where you're going to talk about going to a destination. That is the starting of the engine, that's the beginning process.
But ਜਦੋਂ ਵਾਕ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਜੀ ਵਾਕ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਆਇਆ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਆਇਆ ਜੀ but the Bani must also be, I suppose, admonishing us at some point in time.
The directions of Gurbani are equally when it comes to admonishing us and telling us what to do. Sikha tu hai kam na kari pankaj mo pag nahi chala. Nahi, the word nahi that tells you don't do this. Don't get it. This is admonishment. फिर पातशाह की कहते जे गुर झड़के तो मीठा लगे झड़का भी है क्या. So everything is there. The thing is, when we keep it at the hearing level, then we become very selective. We only pick the ones that we like, or the people who are doing the job of making us hear the verses deliver it in a way that they think this is what we want to hear. So it all sounds, हाँ जी ज्ञानी जी हुक्मनामा फिर किस तरह दा आया. First of all, this question is defective. This question asking somebody हुक्मनामा किस तरह दा आया is defective. It's faulty to the core, because there's an assumption behind it that there are good hukumnamas and bad hukumnamas. That is an insult to the Guru. This is like somebody gives you instruction, then you ask him, is that the correct instruction or is that the wrong instruction? That's an insult. There is nothing in Gurbani that is defective or negative whatsoever. Gurus, as far as the Guru lage, even when the Guru is admonishing us, he is putting us on the right track. So ये सवाल गलत है हुक्मनामा किस तरह दा आया. और जो जवाब देने वाले, they understand that you are not very concerned about it. They all you want to hear is हुक्मनामा बहुत बढ़िया आया, खुश करो, सारे हुक्मनामे बढ़िया. पर जे हुक्मनामा और कोई भी शब्द है, if you are not even interested in going to the listening or the understanding or the doing part, then hearing it or not hearing it is of no difference. Two people are involved in a court case. A is suing B. The case is going to be heard in the district court of Pataling Jaya. At 7 o'clock in the morning, A comes and does an ardas. You know the principle, after ardas, hukumnama. Hukumnama comes out. Aukhi kadi na dekhan dei, apna bird samale. Why is that hukumnama? Because when the Gyanis did Prakash at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm assuming they did it at 5 o'clock, that was the hukumnama. And the rule is that hukumnama runs throughout the day. A says, I'm going to win the case because Gyani ji kis tarah da hukumnama si, bahut badhiya ji, Pacha kehndे औखी घड़ी tenu auni nahi, tu jittega. B comes half an hour later. Gyani ji ardas karo mera muqaddama. He does the ardas. Hukumnama is what, pyareo? औखी घड़ी ना देखण देई. What's his question? Gyani ji hukumnama kis tarah da si? Bahut badhiya ji. Two people are going to the same court. Are you telling me both are going to win the case? Somebody is going to lose. And they say, कचहरी विच जित हार हुंदी है ते हार मौत हुंदी है. वाह जी वाह. हुक्मनामा ते बड़ा सोहना कढ़िया सी, औखी घड़ी ना देखण देई. ये किस तरह हो सकदा? So are we getting to the messages that we are talking about here? It is not about, the power of the hukumnama, the good or the bad of it, nothing of that sort. A gets up in the morning and says, let me internalize one Shabd. So he sits down and he picks up, and by chance this Shabd comes, Aukhi Kadi Na Dekhan Dei. And he contemplates. and he contemplates and he thinks about it and he reads the next verse. Apana bird samale. Bird hunda jada banda kisi di sharan aaya hunda. And he starts to think about it. And he starts to get to the siharis of it. He starts to get to the messages of it, the direction of it, the instruction of it. And he gets to the point that he says that basically Guru did not give me these difficulties. I created the difficulties myself. I am the cause of my issues and my problems and my challenges and my difficulties. I brought about this legal case myself. Now wouldn't it be beautiful if B was sitting somewhere and reading another Shabd, Pisar gai sab Taat parai, and he contemplates and he gets the direction and the messages of it and says, why am I in this? Can I stop my own suffering and can I stop the suffering of my fellow human being that I am suing here? You see where we are heading now? This is the power of Banee operating between two contentious individuals. ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਪਾਵਰ ਆਫ ਬਾਣੀ ਤੇ ਜੇ ਔਖੀ ਘੜੀ ਨਾ ਦੇਈ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸੁਣ ਕੇ then both march into the court in an antagonistic war method ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਜਿਤਨਾ ਹੀ ਜਿਤਨਾ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਮਾਰ ਕੇ ਛੱਡਣਾ ਫਿਰ ਕਾਹਦਾ ਪਾਵਰ ਹੋਇਆ ਬਾਣੀ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਤੇ ਬਾਣੀ ਸੁਣ ਕੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸ਼ੇਰ ਬਣਿਆ ਫਿਰਦਾ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਜਿਤਨਾ ਹੀ ਜਿਤਨਾ I'm going to win it by all costs, I'm going to make you lose by all costs. No, that's not the power of Banee operating. The power of Banee operates when we move the listening to the Sodhya Shabd and says, Guru is giving me a message. Pyarya, you take care of your external pains, I will cure your spiritual pains. Haath de rakhe apne ko. Ha ha ha. And then my hand, my blessings is with you. Because you play your part and I play my part. ਇਹ ਕੋਈ ਬਾਣੀ ਹੈ ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਜਿਹਾ ਕੁਝ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੌਣ ਸਮਝਾਊਗਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ You think the Gyani is going to explain all this to you? I'm sorry, he's not paid to do all this. He's paid to say ਵਧੀਆ ਹੁਕਮਨਾਮਾ ਆਇਆ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਨਾਮ ਕਚਹਿਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਓ ਜਿੱਤ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਹੋਊਗੀ ਦੂਜੇ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਇਹੀ ਕੁਝ ਕਹਿਣਾ 100 ਰੁਪਈਆ ਇਧਰੋਂ $100 ਇਧਰੋਂ I mean, be realistic about it. Why are we so stupid when it comes to spirituality? Why are we so smart? We want to invest $100 in something, we think 10 times, we check the records, we understand the prospectus, we go to the share market, we go read this, we go read that report, we hire an accountant, we call him up, Baldev se hamara samjha di mainu ki hai. When it comes to spirituality, we are so dumb. We just dish out. Why can't we understand it? Why can't we realize that basically we have to do the homework? We have to do the SUNEY, we have to do the listener, we have to get to the Sihari part of it. We have to get to the understanding. We don't get that. We farm it out to other people. So it is there, Pyareo, it is all there. We need to get to it. The admonishings is all done in love. And anybody who tells you, give me one Shabd, I can give you the admonishing right there and then. जो मांगे ठाकर अपने ते how can where is the admonishing? How can there be any admonishment in this? Read रहाव वाली पंक्ति की है चतर दिशा the first verse चतर दिशा कीनो बल अपना ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਬੰਦੇ ਦਾ ਖੜ ਕੇ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਕਿ ਬਲ ਕਿਹਦਾ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਬੰਦਾ ਠੀਕ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਗਈ ਚਤਰ means for direction ਚਤਰ ਦਿਸ਼ਾ कीनो बल अपना सिर ऊपर कर धारियो. All these things got to be internalized within us to understand that Guru is telling us stop asking nonsense. ਇਹ admonishment ਹੈ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਦੂਜੇ ਨੇ ਫਰਜੋ ਮੰਗਿਆ ਠਾਕੁਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਤੇ it means a license to go ask whatever we want. ਸਿਰ ਸਿਰ ਰਿਜਕ ਸਬਾਹੇ ਠਾਕਰ Sir, every living thing. Rizq, what you need. Sir, rizq, sambhahe, saambke, Thakar ne, Rabb ne, Creator ne, aage kar tarya. Tere aun to pehle, aage means before you came, before you existed. ਤੇਰੇ ਆਉਣ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ your sustenance and all the things that I needed are already there. Once I begin to internalize this now, ਅੱਗੇ ਕਰ ਧਰਿਆ ਮੇਰੇ ਆਉਣ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ all the things that I needed for my physical life from the day I'm born to the day I'm going to leave this world, all the needs were put in the right places where I'll be going by the Creator before I was created. ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਫਿਰ ਮੰਗਣ ਦੀ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਲੋੜ ਰਹਿ ਗਈ? Then I'm stupid if I don't understand this and keep on saying ਜੋ ਮੰਗੇ ਠਾਕਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਤੇ ਸੋਈ ਸੋਈ ਦੇਵੈ। ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਅਗਲੀ ਪੰਕਤੀ ਪੜੋ, ਕੰਠ ਲਾਏ। I'm telling you what to ask. Ask to come into my arms. ਇਹ ਮੰਗ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਤੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੰਠ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਵੇਂ। ਕੰਠ ਹਿਰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਹਾਰਟ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ। ਕੰਠ ਲਾਏ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੰਠ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੂੰ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਮੰਗਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ। ਵਾਈ ਸ਼ੁੱਡ ਯੂ ਬੀ ਆਸਕਿੰਗ ਦਿਸ? ਅਵਗਣ ਸਭ ਮੇਟੇ, ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਯੂ ਆਰ ਕੈਰਿੰਗ ਅਰਾਊਂਡ ਇਨ ਯੂ ਥਿੰਗਸ ਦੈਟ ਆਰ stopping you from achieving the spiritual goals. So Guru saying, come to me, I will take you in my embrace. The embrace is not a physical embrace, the embrace is a sihari wala embrace. ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੰਠ ਲਾਏ ਅਵਗੁਣ ਸਭ ਮੇਟੇ, ਦਇਆਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਬਖਸ਼ੰਦ, ਫਿਰ ਹਰ ਜਨ ਰਾਖੇ ਗੁਰ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ। ਤੇਰੀ ਸਪਿਰਿਚੁਅਲਿਟੀ ਦੀ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਨੇ ਖੁਦ ਆਪਣੇ ਹੱਥਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ। ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਫਿਰ ਉੱਥੇ ਖੜ ਕੇ ਅਰਦਾਸਾਂ ਕਰੀਆਂ, ਗਿਆਨ ਜੀ ਹਾਓ ਤਾਂ ਹੁਕਮਨਾਮਾ, ਜੋ ਮੰਗੇ ਠਾਕੁਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਦੇ ਸੋਈ ਸੋਈ ਦੇਵੇ। That's the part we pick up. Yes, but what to ask and what not to ask has been specified in the previous word. So that is the admonishment. ਇਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਂਗੇ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੀ spirituality then becomes authentic. It becomes realistic, it becomes meaningful, it becomes intelligent. Then people with the thinking capacity and ability, including our children, generation Y, generation X, they start to say, yeah, this is something that makes sense. So ਉੱਥੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਆਪਾਂ ਪਹੁੰਚਣਾ। People are in the business of making sense, and these people are very few. Lots and lots of people are in the business of earning a living in spirituality. When you want to earn a living, let's say something happens and tomorrow I have to earn a living in what I do, I will have to stop making sense. Otherwise, you people are not going to pay me. I have to stop making sense. I have to stop talking about listening, about mental, about mind, about sihari. I have to bring it down to the hearing part. Then you see what happens? So there are people who are in the business of not wanting to make sense. Unfortunately, these are the people that we are looking up to, that our children are looking up to, that our generations are looking up to make sense of Guru Nanak's beautiful messages to us. That's not going to happen. We have to do it ourselves, Pyareo. So, basically, spiritual listening, yes, SUNEY of the SHABD is defined as something that has a destination, has an objective. And the objective of the process of SUNEY, after SUNEY will go to Manna, and then from Manna to Parvan. So we took a long time to get to the process because this was important, Pyareo. 4 Paurees, 2 more verses in Japji, and this SUNEY is going to come repeatedly in the Guru Granth Sahib. So we need to understand this. Har jas SUNEY, na har jas gave, batan hi asman girave. Hari da jas SUNEY nahi kita, sunaya nahi. Matlab, the messages and the direction, we never got to that. Har jas SUNEY na har jas gave. And we never sang it with the intention of getting to the sihari, to the meaning direction. Then what happens is all that we have done is nothing other than batan hi asman girave, trying to bring down the sky using words. So unless we understand the meaning of SUNEY there in this context, we will not be able to make sense. So this is the first verse. SUNEY said the Peer Surnath. So SUNEY is translated as the process of spiritual listening, or because it's a sihari, then we translate it directly as through the process or through spiritual listening. said the elevated yogis, Peer elevated Sufis, Sura elevated Vedic people, Devta keh lo, Nath leaders, spiritual leaders. So said the Peer Surnath is being used collectively to mean collective spiritual heights. Sunay said the Peer Surnath through spiritual listening. In other words, the internalization of the Shabd. So when we translate Sunay in these bodies, we will use the spiritual language of Sunay, which is internalization of the Shabd. Sunay is also a process which is spiritual listening. Sunay also is done in contemplation of an objective, a destination. Two things are involved. We are talking about the process and we are talking about the objective, the destination at the same time. That is Sunay, and it will become clear why we have to look at it that way. It will become clear very soon. So this is the meaning of it. Sunay said the Peer Surnath, internalization of the Shabd elevates spirituality to its heights. It does not mean, your book may be saying, listening makes you a Siddh, listening makes you a Peer, listening makes you a Nath, because the Gurus do not want us to become Siddhs or Peers or Naths. The Gurus wants us to take our spirituality to its destination, to its intended outcome. And that process can only happen through the process of internalization of the Shabd. Sunay de rahi. ਭਾਵ ਜਦ ਤੱਕ ਅਸੀਂ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਦੀ ਸਿਹਾਰੀ ਤੱਕ, ਸ਼ਬਦ ਦੇ ਮੈਸੇਜ, ਡਾਇਰੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਇਨਸਟਰਕਸ਼ਨ ਤੱਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਹੁੰਚਦੇ, our spirituality will not take off, will not be reaching spiritual heights. Sunay Tart Taval Akas. Tart, we use the word every day, Tarti, earth. Taval, the existing belief that the earth is supported on the horns of a bull. Okay. The reference here is very clear. It's to the laws of nature, to the Hukm. Guru is using an existing metaphor, but it's nothing to do with any bull whatsoever. Yeah, it's all negated and destructed in Pauree 19 later on. And Akas is the universe. So put it all together, internalization of the Shabd creates an awareness of the Creator's Hukm for the universe. The fact that creation operates within a set of Hukms, that these Hukms cannot be violated, will not be violated. Therefore, the Sikh should stop expecting them to be violated and let them be and live in the parameters of the Hukm of the Creator. That awareness is going to come from the internalization of the Shabd. Sunay Tart Taval Akas. Sunay Deep Lo Patal. Deep, existing concept, referred to the sun. Low, all the bodies up there in the universe, the celestial bodies. Patal refers to the space that is out there in the universe, or what we call the celestial space. See, now these two verses are tying in, the previous verse and this verse. So Sunay Deep Lo Patal means internalization of the Shabd creates awareness of the Creator's Hukm relating to the sun, celestial bodies and space. The Sikh really needs to understand this, that the sun, the stars, the moon and everything out there in the space. Later on there will be another pankti for things on earth. All these things are operating within the Creator's Hukm. Why is that necessary? Because there is a whole world of spirituality out there that does not understand or is not aware of the Hukm. They are worshipping the sun, they are worshipping the moon, they are worshipping the mountains and the rocks, and creating fear in the minds of spiritual people that if you don't pray, the sun is going to drop down, the moon is going to eat you up, and so on and so forth. It is the Shabd that creates the awareness that all this operates in the Hukm. So Sikha, get rid of your fear of all these things. Sune poho na sakke kal. Po literally means to touch. Shona, it means to bring about an effect. You touch somebody's heart, you touch somebody with a statement, with a gesture, with an action. Kal is death. So all that thing about the celestial bodies, the space, the sun and the moon, the spirituality that works outside the parameters of Creator's Hukm operates on the principle of fear. You see, once we understand that all these things operate in Hukm, the fear dissipates. When everything is in the Hukm, we're talking physical Hukm now. The sun, the moon, the fire, the earth, the floods, the rivers and everything all operate in a Hukm. Now once the Sikh is aware that this is in the Creator's Hukm, there is zero fear left. But once the fear comes, we step out of the Hukm and start to worry what's going to happen and start to think if we can change the course of the Creator's will and the Creator's Hukm. So that is why this pankti fits in as well. Internalization of the Shabd removes the fear of death. That is the biggest fear. So now, Pyareo, do you think that we can get rid of the fear of death just by hearing? If SUNEY translate to hearing, hearing the Guru Shabd gets rid of the fear of death. For your information, we have been hearing for centuries. Have we gotten rid of the fear of death? No, something else has to happen. So the fear of death can only be eliminated by internalization of the Shabd. That's getting to the messages of the Shabd. Nirpa japa sagal pao meta. That's one message. That's one sihari. What does it say? Get to know the fearless Creator. Get to understand the fearless Creator. Get to realize the fearless Creator. How do we do that? How do we link, connect, realize, understand, internalize the fearless Creator? By looking at the Creator as a collection of attributes, a collection of virtues, and understanding that one of his virtues is fearlessness. That is why the word nirpao is there. Nirpao japa. Once you start to internalize the fearlessness, nature, attribute, virtue of the Creator, you start to become fearless. A beautiful peace and calm, settles over the mind. I'm at peace. How did that come? Because I got to know one facet of the Creator through the Sihari of Gurbani Shabd, through Guru Nanak's explanation to me that God is basically a collection, a summation of virtues. Sikha, get to know the virtues, understand the virtues. Sunada na reh javi. Padda padhaunda na reh javi. Kite hamla maar ke samjh le. Understand, listening the level te aa ja, फिर acceptance ਦੇ level ਤੇ ਆ ਜਾ, फिर belief ਦੇ level ਤੇ ਆ ਜਾ, फिर become ਦੇ level ਤੇ ਆ ਜਾ. Nirpao japa sagal pao meta is the become level. We have become fearless. Peh kahu ko detna. Na peh manat aan. We do not come under the exigencies of fear, under the influence of fear, under the fear of fear. ਨਹਿ ਭੈ ਮਾਨਤ ਆਉਣ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈ। And why, how do we do that? Because we emanate no fear, we give no fear to anybody. ਇਹ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ virtue ਹੈ, ਸਿੱਖ ਦਾ virtue। ਹੁਣ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ ਇਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ will only come from when we get to the internalization of the Shabd. That is why the translation of SUNEY is internalization of the Shabd. ਨਾਨਕ ਭਗਤਾਂ ਸਦਾ ਵਿਗਾਸ। Bhagata here refers to the spirituality of listening, the spirituality of SUNEY, or the spirituality of internalizing the Shabd. This is our spirituality. So when you ask me the question just now, Nava kar liya, should we do an Khand Path? You ask yourself a question. If I do the Khand Path, is any internalizing of the Shabd going to take place? Answer yes, do it. Answer no, think about it. So ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੁਣਨਾ, we want to get to the understanding and to the internalizing. So the question is not ਸਾਡੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਦਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਖੰਡ ਪਾਠ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ. The question should be ਸਾਡੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਦਾ ਵਿਆਹ and I want to make my daughter, myself, my family, my sangat, my community internalize the ਚਾਰ ਲਾਵਾਂ. Can somebody please do that for me? ਮੇਰੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਦਾ ਵਿਆਹ, ਮੇਰੇ ਪੁੱਤਰ ਦਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸਿਹਾਰੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਉਣਾ, ਆਪਣੇ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਉਣਾ, ਆਪਣੀ ਬੇਟੀ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਉਣਾ। ਪਿਆਰਿਓ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੁਣਿਆ। ਸੋ these are the questions I want you all to think about. But ਉਹ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਛੱਡ ਦਿਓ ਕਿ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਪੈਸੇ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਕਰਾਉਣੇ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਥਾਪੜਾ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਕਰਾਉਣੇ ਆ। ਪਿਆਰਿਓ there is no word ਕਰਾਉਣਾ in ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ regarding to ਪਾਠ। ਕਿਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਪਾਠ ਕਰਾਉਣਾ, ਪਾਠ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਉਣਾ, nothing. It is always ਪਾਠ ਪੜ੍ਹਨਾ, ਪਾਠ ਸੁਣਨਾ। never ਸੁਣਾਉਣਾ, never ਕਰਾਉਣਾ, ਕਰਨਾ। ਸੋ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਪ ਕਰੀਏ। So the spirituality of internalizing, sada permanent, vigas, joy and bliss. Nanak Bhagtan sada vigas, Nanak, the spirituality of SUNEY, the spirituality of internalizing the Shabd is blissful. Because the entire 4 verses are all about SUNEY. SUNEY said the Peer Suranaz, SUNEY Tartavalakas, SUNEY Deep Lopatal, SUNEY Purna Sakekal, Nanak Bhagtan Sada Vigas of this SUNEY. The spirituality of internalizing the Shabd is blissful. SUNEY Dukh Paap Ka Nas. Dukh, sorrows, Paap, sin, Nas, destroy, eliminate, get rid of something. So this is the answer to the question why. Why is SUNEY Nanak Bhagtan Sada Vigas? Why is it internal bliss? Because internalization of the Shabd rids us of our sins and our sorrows. Sins are mental processes. Has anybody got rid of the sorrow of the sin by hearing? I doubt very much. Has anybody got it by understanding? Yes, we have begun the process of getting rid of sins and sorrows. Has anybody gotten rid of the sins and sorrows by internalizing? Yes, because Guru Nanak says so. Nanak Bhagtan Sada Vigas, SUNEY Dukh Paap Ka Nas. This is Guru Nanak's words. This is Guru Nanak's guarantee to us. Sikha, begin the process of SUNEY. Begin the process of understanding. Begin the process of believing next, internalizing and becoming. We'll come back with Pauree 9 of Japji next week. Yeah? Aj ke fateh bulao. Vaheguru ji ka khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki fateh.